Rebecca comes to us live from Standby. Quick show of hands, who in this room has actually been to the Standby yet? It's so up. Oh my gosh, overwhelming. Me too. Yay. Love it. It's so good. It's unbelievable. Thank you so much for being a part of sort of the revitalization that's happening with all of Detroit and the eateries as well. Big, as you can tell, crowd favorite. I didn't even realize that many people had been there already. But a couple more cool and interesting facts about Rebecca, and then I promise I'll stop talking and let you do more talking. So she's California native. I think probably the most notable thing we'll talk a lot about today is that you were a contestant on the 12th season of Top Chef. Amazing. So exciting. She has moved here to recently, this summer sometime?
Yeah, I moved in June.
In June, from Chicago, right?
Yes.
So you were in Chicago, you were head chef at the Virgin Hotel.
Yes.
And you came here with your husband, who is also working in Detroit as a chef at the Apparatus Room,
Yes.
Foundation Hotel.
He's the chef at the Foundation Hotel.
Tom is his name?
Yep.
And you have a couple fur babies?
I just collected another one.
Oh, you have another one? Last I heard you had 3 fur babies. Now you're at 4?
I have 4. And I have a very small apartment right now, especially when you have 4 creatures. But that happens. He's used to it now. He used to get so mad at me for bringing stuff home.
So wait, it was 2 dogs and a cat before. What is it now?
Now I have 3 dogs and a cat.
Wow, that's right. And then
it's a good story. But it's funny.
Well, can we hear it?
Sure. So we have another restaurant or bar called The Skip in the Belt, and we only serve the Mexican-style Coke, the small ones in the glass jars. And we got completely slammed one weekend. We had like a big DJ set, and Adidas had like taken over the whole Beltway. And so they were like, "Chef, you're one of the only ones with a car. Can you please go to Honeybee and get some more soda?" And I was like, "Sure." So I go to Honeybee at like 8 o'clock at night, and a big giant puppy dog is running around the roads like freaked out. And I was like, oh, he got out of somebody's yard. So I pull over, and these other people tried to get him. He ran away from them, and I was like, come here, puppy. He was huge, jumped in my car. He was beat up pretty good. But it was a Saturday night, and none of the rescues could take him. So I was like, okay, you're either gonna like fit in this weekend with the dogs, or you're gonna try to kill my dachshund. Because I didn't know if he was a fight dog or anything. I was just like, all right. So we gave him a bath and fed him and kind of hung out with him for a little bit, and he never went away.
Oh, he adopted you.
He did. So now I have a 90-pound baby.
And what kind of dog is he?
He is a Lab Mastiff Pit Bull mix.
Oh, wow.
But he is just, we should have named him Stimpy, because he's totally sweet but kind of stupid and like just happy. He just wants to play all the time. He just has no idea how big he is.
What did you name him?
His name is Busby. Which is like totally not a normal name, but my husband has been amassing the Manchester United greatest hits players of all time history with all of my pets.
Yeah.
So my cat's name is Giggs, after Ryan Giggs. My American Bulldog's name is Rooney, from Wayne Rooney.
Oh yeah, sure.
And then now I have Sir Busby, who was like their, I don't know, he's some like Hall of Famer manager, something or other. I was like, okay.
That's so funny.
Perfect.
That's one of our clients, actually. Chevrolet sponsors Manchester United, so we do a lot of work with them. That's so like, interesting.
Their hugest fan lives downtown.
Oh, can we tell them that?
Totally. He'd be so excited, like freak out.
Small world. Small world in Detroit. I think you're probably realizing that you can't walk down the street and not know someone, or someone knows someone from high school or college.
To brunch the other day, and I was like, okay, all the 5 people I know are here.
Well, let's start there. So we are going to talk a lot more about Top Chef and your fur babies, but let's start there. Very, very interesting to us, and there's some timely news happening right now, because I don't know if you saw, but Google just announced a couple weeks ago we're making the move officially down to Detroit next year. Yeah, we're excited too. So tell us, being a California native and not necessarily a Michigander or a Detroit native, tell us what being a part of the Detroit rebirth has been like for you.
I love it. I have been coming to Detroit for the past 4 years. Actually, what's pretty funny, 4 years ago, we stayed at the Cadillac because my bridal shower was here. Because my husband has relatives in Michigan, and so I had never gotten to meet a bunch of them, so that was how I met all of them. And that was the first time I'd ever really been downtown Detroit. And at that point, it was a little bit scary.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bad. Like, I think the guy, we went and had dinner at Roast, and we were like, where can we go for cocktails? And the guy was like, you shouldn't leave the hotel. And I was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
Fine. He's like, no, it's a really bad idea.
That's just 4 years ago.
Yeah. And now I recognize the church that I drove by, and it's completely, like, it's right across the street from Little Caesars Pizzerina, and nothing was there. And now it's like Woodward has grown up and all of these beautiful buildings, like it's completely unrecognizable from what it was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And right after the show, I started doing dinners at Revolver. And steadily every 6 months I have done a dinner at Revolver. So I've been coming and kind of watching it grow up. And I tried to get Tom to move here like 2 years ago. And you guys probably didn't know this, but Michigan is huge horse country. And I grew up showing horses. So I know a lot of breeders and trainers are here, and I was like, cool, I can still show horses if we move to Detroit.
That's funny. You did an interview with someone recently where you said that a big part of moving to downtown Detroit meant that you could stable your horses, or you could have your horses, which I didn't think that would be, it doesn't seem realistic. And I live here, I'm from here. So where do you stable them? Tell us a little bit about that.
Not quite Metamora, but like up, right before, I always forget where his family's from, Port Huron. There is 2 like of the top Arabian horse trainers in the U.S. up there. So it's literally a 45-minute drive from downtown if it's not traffic time.
Did you have your horses in Chicago?
No, most of my horses are in Arizona and in California.
Right.
So I have Western Pleasure horses and reiners, and they are with one of my best friends down in Scottsdale.
And do you do shows with them as well? Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah. So, but up here, there's a lot of English horses, and I love English and riding hunts, so I'm gonna get myself a half Arabian and
very cool
hunt.
Yeah, very cool. Well, that's really interesting. You do hear that a lot when we get people transplants, as we call them, from other cities who have, given up a swanky life in New York or given up a lot of property out west to come to Detroit, that there are some sort of creature comforts that this city does offer someone of your stature. And so I think that's really interesting that horses is your passion, and Detroit seems to be still a good fit for you. So
yeah, it's great. You get the best of both worlds. Like, we can't really live too far away from a major metropolitan area. That's just, our jobs don't translate well to that, the kind of food that both of us do. So it works out really well that we can have a property and have animals, and I have always had cows and pigs and horses and all that stuff, and now I can actually do that and afford to buy a house that isn't the size of a postage stamp.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little expensive down there right now. Well, okay, so in that same theme of Detroit, let's talk about Standby. Standby, James Beard Award nominee right now. Yep. Typically known as a bar that leads, or a restaurant/bar that leads with really well-known, strong alcoholic drinks, bar drinks. That's kind of how you guys have your reputation building right now. Tell us, as a chef coming into a restaurant with a bar with that type of reputation, how it's been challenging for you, or how you've been able to either complement that, or what you see from a negative and a positive standpoint.
I thought it was a great project, and I came from having 5 restaurants under my hat to having one that was really focused, was really nice. And I could bring the food to the same level as the cocktails. And my job was to get it there, get us more organized so we can continue to work on other projects and expand the company.
Yeah. What are you most proud of that you've done at Standby?
Just that, like, consistency, I think. Consistency, and that, like, we don't have a disparity between the food and the cocktails. Like, before we have a $20 drink on the menu, but it's like everything is a lot snackier, and that's just, they just hadn't found the right fit of person to kind of do that.
Right.
And to me, I'm like, Standby is a cocktail bar that has great food. It's not a restaurant that has great cocktails. So that's something that I try to keep in everybody's mind, that I'm there to complement the food and to help us do other things.
Yet you have quite an extensive background as a chef. Let's talk a little bit about Top Chef. So, Top Chef, I think it's what all of us know. That's how you got your chops. But is there some other way that, do you think Top Chef kind of has outshadowed something else in your life you're really proud of that got you to where you are now? Or would you credit Top Chef for that?
I think I did Top Chef because it was just an easy point in my life to be able to do that. We were really fortunate to where the company that I was working with, Trencherman and the Heisler Group, was like, yes, do it, please. And I was like, I don't know, I'm not like, that's not my deal. I don't really do that stuff. But I think what I had kind of done to get there before was a good lead up to it. It certainly wasn't my favorite thing that I've ever done, but I don't regret it. I never wanted to regret doing it. And they asked me, like, they begged and begged and begged me to do it. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. I'm just not a very good social person.
Well, you could have fooled us.
Oh, man. I kept my mouth quiet a lot, which is one of the reasons why they were like, you're very quiet. I'm like, well, because some of the things that come out of my mouth aren't very nice. And, like, I
feel you, sister.
Well, you're just, like, you're stuck in a weird situation. And I think the most frustrating thing for me was I was like, and the same thing with James. We both agreed on this one. We were like, good food takes time, and that's what they take away from you. They take away the two most important things about being a really good chef that really cares about your food is time and the ability to pick your ingredients. One of the biggest things about our job is sourcing the best ingredients and local ingredients that we can.
Right.
So it's a little bit like you never feel like you're putting your best foot forward for somebody that you completely admire. Like you're cooking for Jacques Pepin and you're like, wow, I just ran through Whole Foods that we ravaged like 3 days ago. It's a 3-day weekend. We know they didn't get any fresh orders because we know how everything flows in and out of these places. And I'm gonna put this in front of 7 million people and I'm cooking on a stove in like an apartment near you. Yeah. And this is like awesome. Here you go. Thank you. It's just like, oh.
But for the most part, you were given some really positive feedback on that show.
Oh, yeah. I had a good time. I mean, I met some amazing people. It's definitely like nobody knows what you go through except for like the 15 of you that are there. Right. So we're all pretty close.
Pretty tight.
Which was fun.
Well, you met some amazing people. There's a lot of celebrity chefs and a lot of celebrities really in general that you came across with on that season. Who was your favorite? Who stands out to you as someone you were most glad to meet or network with?
I think I was pretty over it by the time we had to meet people.
Would you say one of the other contestants?
It was really fun to like be in the Cheers set and meet Norm and do all that stuff. And then he came to my restaurant like 4 months later, and we weren't allowed to talk about it because it hadn't aired yet. And he was like, I loved your chicken wings. I was like, thanks. That was super funny.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's very cool. Yeah, that was a great one.
That was fun.
So post-life Top Chef, was there one of the other contestants that you stayed in touch with? I think we know the answer to this. You already mentioned a couple of names, but someone you stayed in touch with that you've really felt you built a network around?
Well, James and I are really close.
James, yeah.
May and I talk pretty much all the time. Carrie Ann and I are still really good friends. We were roommates. George and I were really close. We hung out together a lot after we got eliminated. It was really fun to get eliminated because you're stuck in this house. And you're like, wow, I don't have to do anything besides like entertain myself.
What would you do once you got eliminated? I've always wanted to know this. When you get eliminated, then what happens?
I'm probably gonna get in a ton of trouble for telling you this, but I don't really care. Like, I'm like, what are you gonna do to me? I've got nothing. They basically rented out like a residence inn, and we all got our own apartment. Huh. And you get like you get so much money a week for food and stuff. So we took over the pool and we barbecued every day and drank way too much. Yeah, and then we would.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had a great time, and it was summer. It was like none of us have ever been able to have this much time off in our life, and to not have to like run and check on the restaurant or do something else, or like you're as a chef, you're always just on. So it was really awesome, like to be like, wow, this is like what actual vacation feels like.
It's like celebrity chef adult spring break.
Totally, except we were like, you guys should have had the cameras here. Like we one time snuck out and went to karaoke, and James is a huge karaoke-aholic. That was hysterical.
That's awesome.
We had a great time.
How fun.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Well, okay, so Top Chef, the rebirth of Detroit. You have so many interesting layers to you. I don't even know where to start. But one of the other things I do want to talk about, because you're at Google, and there's a number of things that we prioritize here. Work-life balance is one of them. Hearing that you have your horses here with you, which affords you a better life, is awesome, because we can all relate to that. But talk to us a little bit about something else that's very important here at Google. We have a group called Women At, and part of our initiative behind that is just to kind of like uncover truths and do a lot of sort of sharing of our lives and things that make being a woman in the technology field at a very large corporation with a big reputation. It's not always easy. I cannot imagine almost a tougher industry than being a chef, a professional chef in the industry that you're in, and being female and leading that. So talk to us a little bit about some of the challenges, or if there's one big one that stands out for you in your journey as a female chef amongst what I think is probably a pretty big boys club.
It is a huge boys club. I just never put up with it. And I didn't ever kind of realize that I wasn't going to put up with it until I was at Michael Mina. And I was just kind of focused on doing a really good job. And if I knew I needed to get better, and I was looking over at what other people were doing, and I just made sure I worked harder than everybody else. But there was a couple people that, like, you always run across some guys that don't want you there.
Right.
Especially, this is going to sound really terrible, but like there's a lot of foreign chefs that we work with that is not. It's not a big women crossover into their workforce. So they were like, get out, and you're not conforming to whatever our cultural program is. And I was like, dude, if you want to go toe to toe back here, fine.
Bring it on, chef style.
I don't care. Like, you're not going to get in the way of me not doing my job, but I'm also not going to let you treat me like garbage or throw my stuff away or...
Oh, would they do that?
Oh yeah, like kitchen sabotage is huge.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I need that pot. Like, oh yeah, like completely.
Oh, that's horrific. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, not a big deal.
I love that you say that you just won't stand for it.
No, dude, like if you touch my shit again, I'm gonna burn you. Like, no. It's like prison rules, man. Like you get there early, get all of your stuff. Yeah. And if you continue to try to take my stuff, I'm going to put a spoon on the flat top and I'm going to hold it to your hand. Don't.
Yeah.
But as soon as you they figure out that like you're not going to put up with it, like the stuff stops.
Yeah. Wow. So that's amazing, and actually even more terrifying than the way I thought you would describe it. So good for you. I love again. I just love that you have, the balls to just say, I'm not going to stand for this, and I'll sabotage you right back. So. You belong here.
Don't.
You're good for the city.
It's like, I'm not going to put up with that.
So then the next obvious question is, 2 chefs in one family.
Oh, yeah.
Incredibly difficult. Back to the work-life balance thing. But how do you and Tom make it work? Because it's nights, it's weekends, it's early mornings. Do you find that presents itself a challenge, or is it easier?
It was probably a little harder when we were first together because we didn't really have super control over our schedules. But now we both kind of make the schedule, and we both really understand that, like, if something happens, if you have something going on a Sunday, of course you have to work on Sunday. That's okay.
Yeah.
But we try to make sure that we have like Sunday or Monday or both days off a week so we can actually see each other. I feel like it makes us appreciate each other more because we are not on top of each other at all. Like, we leave by 9:30, 10 in the morning. One of us will come home and walk the dogs and hang out with the dogs during the day, and then we don't get home until 12 o'clock.
Wow.
So.
And then repeat.
Yeah.
Rinse, wash, repeat. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Who's the better chef?
That totally depends. We do totally different styles of food.
You tell us about that.
So he is like ultra fine dining all the time.
Right.
And I did that for a long time, and I was just like, I don't need this in my life. I remember like a pinnacle moment. We were actually here 2 years ago doing Savor Detroit, and Tom was paired up with Luciano from Baco. And I was like, just because your restaurant's name is 16 does not mean you need 16 garnishes. Whoa. I think I'm one of the only people that can get away with saying that. And I was like, sometimes like Chanel said, when you look in the mirror before you go out the door, take something off.
Oh, yeah, very true.
Applies here.
But that's his style. So your style then is a little bit more simplistic.
I just like, and that's kind of how I take standby. Is I'm like, well, what tastes good? What's gonna? To me, it doesn't have to like. I don't want it to be more complicated than it has to be. To me, kind of less is more, and let the stuff speak for itself.
Right. So you didn't answer us though. Who do you think is the better?
I don't know.
Okay,
I mean,
so
he's 10 years older than me, so technically he would be. But like, if you ask who makes dinner every day,
is it you? Actually, that was on my list of questions. So what's your go-to recipe at home? You're not home really ever at the same time, but if you had to cook something or you had friends coming over, what's your go-to?
If we have friends coming over, that's a tough one. It's usually a holiday, so whatever holiday food. I like totally nerd out over the holidays, so I will like go crazy that way. And we both love Thanksgiving, so Thanksgiving becomes like a giant raucous of stuff. I'm like, who are we gonna feed? We have like 5 friends between us, and I was gonna say, and we have,
I'm free
and
this
everybody's
year.
working. But we cook really simply at home. Like Tom loves meatloaf and pot roast, so that's like basically what I make at home. It's like completely not what people think.
So he's more of like a fluffy, luxurious 16-course meal or 16 sort of like big, but he likes just like good home cooking.
Yeah, he's totally like he cooks breakfast every Sunday morning, and that's like the most cooking that he does at home. And then I usually do dinner and stuff like that. But yeah, we're totally simple at home. We cook like everybody else.
Do you use any social media channels or YouTube maybe for any kind of recipe guidance or cooking or?
No, my Instagram is full of dog pictures, which is totally totally disappointing for some people. But yeah, I have a dachshund and I think he's funny, so I post pictures about him all the time. But no, generally YouTube, I watch makeup tutorials and get out of like chef world.
Okay, so you're not using YouTube to sort of perfect your culinary craft. You're using that more for your personal better.
I do point my sous chefs and stuff to a channel called Chef Steps, and they are awesome. So if you're like, okay, I suck at boiling eggs, they will show you like 4 ways to like hard boil and peel an egg.
Huh.
And they also do a lot of like molecular gastronomy, and like they do some really high-end things, but they have some really fun stuff. Like if you're like, okay, I want to figure out how to make hollandaise sauce and put it in an ISI gun and blow it up. Like, all right, cool. There's the video.
Very cool. Well, then you said you use makeup tutorials. Who's your favorite YouTube creator for that?
Oh my God, I have like a million of those.
Yeah.
I like to watch them all.
And no one stands out more than
I watch Bailey Sarian a lot, and
Michelle Phan, maybe.
I don't watch Michelle Phan very. I used to, but Jacqueline Hill does a good job, and a couple girls over in the UK I really like. It's a little bit more of a natural look.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of makeup going on these days, and I'm like, I don't have time for that. I also don't want it to like. We sweat a lot in the kitchen, and like nobody feels good, but like hour 10 and you look like you've jumped out of a swimming pool. And you're like, wow, I just went upstairs to the dining room and I look like I have either been crying or at a Marilyn Manson concert. It's not a good look for anybody.
Well, you look beautiful and everything I've ever seen it on TV, so that's
one of my best friends is a makeup artist, so she always does fixes me before I have to go on like.
She in town?
She travels all of the time. She is the like lead makeup traveling artist for the UFC, so she covers up bruises mostly, and makes the girls beautiful. But yeah, she's the one who's always like, okay, hold on.
You mentioned you and Tom, when you are together, maybe Mondays or Tuesdays, you have date nights. Is there, outside of the Foundation Hotel or Standby, is there a favorite hotspot you guys like to go to in Detroit?
We always try to go someplace different.
Yeah.
Because there's, and like everybody, so many friends have restaurants and so many places to go, which is really awesome. It's kind of nicer to go out here than it was in Chicago, because it's just like, everybody here has a purpose. Mm-hmm. And instead of like, oh, I decided I'm going to open a Chinese food restaurant, that's cool. Like, all right, that's not what you do.
Yeah.
So we basically try to hit all of our friends' places. And then anything that's been around for more than 50 years, like, we totally love restaurants that have been around for a million years, even if they're like funny and like totally old and nostalgic. The funnier, the better. Like
Clausen Steakhouse.
Totally. Like, can't wait to go there. Like, it's totally on our list. Like,
you haven't been there?
No, because they close on one of the days that we're always off. So yeah, like,
the best place ever.
We love places like that. Anything that's kind of funny. One of our first dates was at Buca de Beppo because it was funny. And like, this is like the weirdest goal, but we were like, we want to go someplace and order the nicest Chianti on the menu and have it be one of those stupid basket ones.
That's the place to do it.
And then, so this is like...
Roma Cafe?
Yeah, that was, well, and where were we? We were in Vegas, so there wasn't a Roma Cafe there.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't realize they put us down the stairs in the basement because we must have looked like trouble, but there was this private party of deaf people, so we're like, it is really quiet in here. What is going on? And then we like dawned on us like halfway through, and we were like, oh, they're at a private party and they stuck us in their room and they're all signing. Like, no wonder there's no music or anything. Like, we were with this, kept sitting there like, shh, something's going on.
This was your first date?
Yeah, it was one of our first dates.
Well, that'd be tough to connect when it's quiet.
Hysterical. We had like plenty to drink before then, so yeah, that was super funny.
What about in Detroit? I said Clausen Steakhouse, but what's your favorite old place, 50 plus years old? Anywhere that you could name off?
We loved going to the London Chop House that has been reopened and redone. That was really, really good, and it's fun. And going up to the cigar bar is really cool. And so far that's been kind of the number one. Like, we love to go to Jacoby's because it's funny. Sweetwater Tavern, we live across the street from, so I've had enough of them. Every day I walk my dogs and I have to like fight them for chicken wing bones.
Yeah, that's a kind of a nasty corridor down there sometimes when there's like after a Lions game or St. Andrews Hall concert or something.
So it's like, if you can imagine, like, my dachshund is feisty, so I'm trying to like...
Yeah.
He's growling at me. He's like, I want that chicken bone. You gotta let it go.
We spend a lot of time down there with, some of us have clients and such around General Motors and around the ad agency, so we're always looking for good recommendations. What do you think is the best lunch place around that same area?
Lunch is tough, man.
Lunch is so tough. Besides the standby, standby doesn't open until 4.
We don't open until 5.
5, yeah.
So yeah, we're late. We do late night.
Yeah.
So
desserts till 2 a.m.
Yeah, and we do chicken and dumplings from 12 to 2.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So like,
that's cool.
there's like nice hot something to get till at 2 a.m. because there's really not a lot.
Yeah. But lunch.
Go Sai Tai is really good. I like the salads that they have at Grand Trunk.
We do too.
I like Grand Trunk.
We spend a lot of time there.
Yeah, it's one of the few places that's open.
Yeah.
The apparatus room, if you can get in, has great lunch.
Okay.
I sit at the bar.
Yeah.
It's faster. But yeah, there's just not a whole lot of places to have lunch downtown yet. Like, we're working on it.
Yeah, we think that's a big opportunity. Yeah. Especially with companies like Microsoft and hopefully Amazon and obviously Google moving down there. Definitely a improvement for lunch.
It's all in the works, man. All that stuff is like coming.
You're is there anything you want to reveal today here at Google in
Not
that
yet.
same
we just know
vein
that we have
around?
plans that like we want to do that. Like, that's in the, because they're literally like, we all go to the Desert Oasis Coffee.
Desert Oasis Coffee, yeah.
To have meetings, and we're like, this would be great if there was food.
Yeah.
And like, there's only so many times you can eat at the little Mexican street on the corner.
It is good though.
It is good.
Yeah.
But when I'm like, okay, we've all had their menu, and we all are totally lazy, and we get delivery at standby like, all of the time. So I'm like, oh my God, you guys, we have to stop. Like, there's nothing healthy about anything that we're doing.
Do you think when Google moves down to Detroit, you might come over and celebrity guest chef for us one day? Is there a way we could get you to do that?
Yeah, how many people do you have to serve?
Okay, awesome. We'll be about, 120 at some point, but 80 maybe at first?
Oh, that's not
We'll
bad.
figure that out
That's
afterward.
easy. Yeah, I can totally do that. That's easy.
Okay, awesome. Great.
That's totally
I think
easy.
that concludes the interview. No, just kidding.
Perfect. We got what we wanted.
We got
Leave.
Right. So why don't I stop talking? There's a microphone over here. Is there anyone with any questions for Rebecca?
So you talked about maybe expanding a little bit outside of the standby. Are you looking to just kind of stay in that sort of midtown, downtown area? Are you looking at any of the other neighborhoods? For example, like West Village has some good development going on there. So just curious, like, what areas are you looking at?
We just bought a house over in that area.
Oh,
over in Indian Village. We're super excited about it.
Yeah.
And there is no room right now in West Village. Everything is rented.
Really?
So West Village is going to blow up here really soon with, I know there's at least 3 or 4 restaurants opening. My buddy Anthony Lombardo is opening his restaurant I can't remember the name of it right now. But he actually moved over to Midtown because he couldn't get in West Village, which is, it's exciting. Like,
It's a big deal.
there's still plenty of space downtown, and I don't mind staying downtown. I like it down there. And I think downtown needs it. I'm not a super huge suburb person. I like to come out here to go shopping, but I feel like there's lots of amazing stuff out here, and there's a lot of call for new things. So we're focusing, both of us are focusing all of our energies kind of downtown.
Thank you. That's good. We need that. You're absolutely right. If we could just figure out a way to get some of that shopping downtown and keep people to stay down there.
Can we convince Nordstrom's to move downtown?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Okay, on it. We had another question here.
So you mentioned that you're out the door at around 9:30 until 12. Can you talk a little bit about what you do in your typical day from when you start to finish?
So my day starts with making sure that my morning sous chef has, like, all the orders have come in. It was all the stuff I actually ordered. Everybody is on the same page that we have on prep projects with, okay, burger meat is here. We patty those fresh every day, making sure that that's done. Fries are blanched by a certain time, so by the time the cooks come in, they're kind of out of their way. And then by that time, my other two sous chefs have made it in, and normally at that point, I have meetings. And then I have meetings in and out of the city, so I'm kind of out and around all the time. And the past couple months, we have opened a cart out in the alley that we brought you guys some snacks from, but we're just some simple little, like, fun things. Yeah, the skip cart.
The skip.
So I was focusing a lot on, like, okay, we need equipment for that. We need to get bids for equipment. We need to figure out what we're gonna serve it in. Like, how many people does Jesse need to run that? So I spent a lot of time doing that, and we are also in the works of opening another bar down the way, down at the end on Library Street. So that's been another focus, because I'm going to do soft serve ice cream in there. So
Oh, yay.
that will
That's
be fun.
exciting. Have you announced the name of that?
I
Or
think it's
still in the works?
I think it's called Deluxe Flux or Deluxe Lux or something like that.
Lux.
But that will be open sometime in March. That's going to be really fun.
You mentioned meetings outside of the city. I know you do a lot of sourcing from local farms. Is it usually related to that?
So I do that. I consult for a couple people that I'm just helping them get their restaurants up and around, and menus and things like that. I have a couple meetings with people that want to do private dinners, and then, like, every doctor's appointment in the world is over out here.
Yeah.
And then if the one thing that needs to come downtown desperately is a grocery store.
Nordstrom's and a grocery store. A non-Whole Foods grocery store.
Because Whole Foods is tiny, and it gets picked over immensely quickly. So if you need, like, Ziploc bags, you're hosed. And
Wow.
CVS closes really, and that gets picked over really quickly. So if you're like,
Right.
okay, I need to, like, get actual staples of life, you have to drive out to 8 Mile.
You mean City Market doesn't have everything that you need?
Well, it's also picked over quite quickly. Those people know us very well.
Yeah.
They love my dogs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's great. Well, I don't know if there's any other questions. What I'd love to have Rebecca do is talk a little bit about what she brought for us today, what you guys are going to enjoy, and...
So we just changed the menu, the dessert menu. Julie and I love dessert. So that's Julie, that's my sous chef in the back. Hi. So we brought you what our latest dessert that we put on the menu. It is a sour cream old-fashioned donut with dried cranberries, pumpkin cheesecake, and apple butter.
Wow.
And we
sounds
brought
amazing.
some of the snacks that go out on the skip cart, which is some spiced pecans with milk and dark chocolate rolled around it.
Are there any local companies or farms in this that go into this recipes that you brought today that you could hype up or tell us about?
So Seedling Farm has been a farm that I use in Chicago quite a bit, and Pete was a tech guy that bought this farm that has been around for over 100 years, but I think the gentleman that owned it, his family didn't want to keep it I don't know, I think he had anybody to leave it to, so Pete bought it. And they live in Chicago, and they drive all the way up to Grand Haven every weekend to make sure that this farm continues to run. And
Wow.
it has heirloom pears and like 15 different varieties of apples, ground cherries, figs. He has all sorts of fun stuff. So we get all of our apples from those guys, and they ship them, they truck them in from across the state.
That's cool.
We also buy from, I think it's called Grow Detroit, and it is a company that goes around and helps little farmers get their product to restaurants. So we have one place to order from, and they make sure that we get to use some really awesome things. And like some of these guys only grow 1 or 2 things, but they grow, like this guy grows amazing beets, or he has really awesome zucchini. So we'll buy the flowers and all that stuff, but it will come from one person. The guy's name is Eton. It's really fun.
Eton?
Yeah.
Eton? It's interesting because Chicago's not too far away, so you can kind of share and stay with the same farm. Seedling sounds like maybe one of the ones that
Yes.
you did that with.
And what was annoying when we moved here is a lot of those farmers on the west end of Michigan, it's so much easier to go to Chicago that
Yeah.
they're like,
Instead of
oh, we
coming
don't
to
drive to
Detroit.
Detroit. I'm like, well, can you?
Yeah, you're in Michigan.
So,
Right.
which is working out really awesome, like they are, which is great.
Has there been any like a Michigan staple or product that's changed the way that you cook because you were so surprised by, the cherries or the apples or something?
I didn't realize that Michigan had nuts.
Oh.
So
didn't
in southern
either.
Michigan, there's like quite a few pecans and stuff, which there's
Oh.
just, my dad's a nut farmer, so that was like awesome.
Right.
But not really. I mean, growing up,
Yeah.
having a ton of stuff at my disposal, I'm always like, super excited about cheese, so I'm always finding local, small, artisanal cheese people.
There's a million good ones here.
I know, and I love it. One of the local farm people, like, goes around and picks up cheese from all those places, so I'm like, I'll be on a 2-week waiting list. I don't care. I just want like 1 or 2 of those things that are available.
Share with us, who is the best artisanal cheese
I can't remember the name
distributor
of
around
this
here?
farm.
Okay.
They're right outside of Ann Arbor, and they literally have like 20 goats.
Wow. We'll have to figure that one
Yeah,
out.
I'll find it. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I was super excited to get their stuff. But yeah, I ordered it, and they're like, it's a 2-week pre-order, and I was like, damn it. Oh wait.
Yeah, good cheese is worth the wait for sure.
Absolutely, I love cheese.
Well, thank you so much, Rebecca. Can we get a big round of applause for Rebecca?